Hi guys, I wanted to just do a quick video, a few items that I picked up off of the Facebook Marketplace. One of these items popped up right here in town, so I got a few pretty good deals on a couple of items. But I've got one item that I missed on the last 2017 May estate sale series video, and I think I had mentioned in a previous video that I did end up going back out there. So I've got another estate sale video coming up with a handful of items that we can go through. Let me just show you this one item from the estate sale that I missed last time, get that out of the way, and then we'll dive into this pile of stuff from the Facebook Marketplace. All right, so this is the item that I missed on the estate sale video. The stuff from the last trip I haven't gotten to yet, but the trip before that, I was already starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel there, and the large drill press that was there that I had toyed with making an offer on, this big old Solberger Swiss-made drill press, a gear-headed drill press. This was laying on the pedestal of the drill press down below, so probably it was being used with the drill press at some point, but they had just disconnected it. And what this is this is a Kool Mist, Kool Mist, mist spray coolant generator. So it's interesting. It says they guarantee this to work for 1 full year if it's used with Kool Mist formulas. So I don't know whether or not that's just some kind of marketing deal there. Maybe this can be just used with regular coolant, like a sulfur-based coolant or something like that. I don't know. But for those of you who don't know what a mist cooling system is, basically you fill this reservoir with coolant, and then at this connection right here you hook up an air line, and then this little valve control right here regulates, well, I don't know if it regulates the flow or not, probably, but it definitely turns the air on. And when you turn the air on, there's a Venturi effect that will actually cause it to siphon the coolant up from this reservoir and spray it out this nozzle. And then there's I believe this on the end here also is a way to shut the flow off. You know, at some point I might play around with this. I don't know whether or not I'll use it on the milling machine or one of my lathes, or if at all. But there's a space for a model number here, but you can just barely make out maybe the remnants of something having been there at one point. If there was a number there, it's long gone. But I could probably just figure out what this is by Googling it, as far as, you know, capacity or whatever. But I knew I was going to get this for the, you know, for next to nothing. It was bundled in with the other stuff, so I'm into this for really short money. So if it works, great. If it doesn't, no big deal. So I don't tend to see a lot of machinist-related items pop up on my local Facebook Marketplace pages. But every once in a while, something will pop up, and it's caught my eye. It's you can see here, it's just make out there on the box, Shear Tamiko, and it's a micrometer. And I don't think I could actually see that name on the box when I first saw it advertised. And I ended up going out there, and this is basically what I could see in the picture. Well, my first thought was, hey, he advertised it for 20 bucks. Maybe I should go out and see if he's got any other machinist tools. Well, it turns out he didn't really have any other machinist tools, but when I went out there, I looked at it. I said, oh, a Shear Tamiko. And I said, yeah, but I think this is not a Shear Tamiko micrometer, because my ignorance showing there that I thought all Shear Tamiko micrometers, Tamiko, which stands for Tubular Micrometer Company, had the tubular style hollow frame. And, well, come to find out, the name's actually right on here. This is, in fact, a Shear Tamiko micrometer, but it's made in the style of more like your typical Starrett micrometer, for that matter, or Brown and Sharp, actually. Actually, I think it's closer to a Brown and Sharp. But what I thought was really cool about it is on the inside of the box, it's stamped U.S. government property. I spoke to the gentleman who sold me this, and he explained to me that this had belonged to, I believe, his grandfather, and that his grandfather had acquired this when he was on a ship in the Navy. So that apparently is the pedigree behind this neat old micrometer. And there's a number here, KK1-0002. Thinking that's maybe some kind of a stocking number that they may have used on board ship to keep track of items. And there is a calibration sticker of 1990. So it was due for recalibration in 92. But it's a nice little micrometer. And I wouldn't even give $20 for this micrometer if it was at a flea market table, except for the fact that it's kind of neat that it's not just another Stereotype Brown and Sharp. It's in good shape, and mostly I think it's just really cool that it's got this nice box with the U.S. government property stamp on the inside there. I'm not sure exactly why, but I think maybe the veneer might have been flaking off on the corners here, and that's why this masking tape was probably put on there. I'm just going to leave it alone. But so that's that. And then, like I said, he was asking $20 for that, and I actually ended up bundling this with some other items. So the next item was another item he had advertised, and I decided to take a better look at it while I was there. And especially since now he had explained to me that all of this stuff had belonged to his granddad, and this was all, and actually I think it might have been his dad now that I think of it, but it was all off of all supposedly from when he was in the Navy. I noticed this is also engraved KK1-0026, and what this is this is a torque wrench, and when I saw the picture of it, it made me think of the torque meter torque wrenches that SnapOn made. This is even engraved here with the KK1-0026. This is calibrated back on 1989. It was due in 91, so around the same time frame as the micrometer. Actually looks like it's in really good shape. So this is a 0 to 250 pound torque wrench. So it's got quite the range on it. Now, I didn't see any other markings on here to indicate necessarily who made this wrench, but on the box it's clearly marked wrench torque capacity 0 to 250 foot-pounds, and then there's an NSN number, okay, and a really long number. And for those of you who don't know, NSN stands for National Stock Number, and it's part of a standardized system that the military especially uses. And if you look, lots of times when you're looking for parts, you'll find sometimes an older part, it'll have an NSN number, and that just means that at some point, some branch in the military probably was ordering those, and that's why there's so much of that stuff in surplus. It says JS Technology Incorporated, model 43400. So model 43400, made in the USA. I think he had $20 on this too, either 20 or 25. And I knew I could probably shave another $5 off of that price because I was buying multiple items. So I decided to buy that. I think I'm going to keep this one. The SnapOn torque meters almost have like a collectability to them. So I sold one of the small ones I had on eBay, and I forgot what I paid for that, but I more than tripled my money off of that. So I keep an eye out when I go to swap meets and sales for those. And then I've got the larger one I just bought more recently with a light on it. That's actually less valuable, but still more it's definitely going to bring more than the $10 I paid for it. But this one, because it's the 0 to 250, I think I might end up just keeping this one in my arsenal of tools for that occasional time when I need a hefty torque wrench. So then he says, oh well, and I get this other torque wrench. So he goes and he pulls out this one, and this one, I don't remember if I found anything on this one or not. But what's neat about this one is it's a smaller one, and I forgot what he said the rating was at first, and when he said it, I said nah. I said that's got to be inch pounds, Yeah, so what he had seen is that it goes up to 750. So he actually thought this went to 750 foot-pounds, but it's inch-pounds. This goes to 750 inch-pounds. And this torque wrench says, over here on the handle, it says consolidated devices. But it looks like a 7502 is the model number. But the only thing I care about is that it's made in the USA. So that's a nice little torque wrench there. I have a pretty nice Craftsman inch-pound torque wrench, so I don't know whether or not, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to keep this one, but I think I got this one for like 15 bucks, 15 or 20 bucks on this one too. I don't know, like I said, it all ended up being, you know, what he was asking, and then we pulled it all together in a pile and ended up working out a deal. So I got some really good deals on this stuff, needless to say. This one also has the KK1. This one says 0201 VP-Mall. So I don't know what that means. But so it looks like this also came from the same toolkit as the other stuff. And then I happen to spot up on the shelf a couple of handles, and I reached for him because he said, you know, all the stuff there was for sale. Wasn't a lot of tools. And when I pulled them down, they turned out to be Greenlee cable cutters. And he wanted like 35 bucks for those. They were like in almost brand new condition. And I guess, you know, those are pretty expensive. But I had mentioned to him, I said, geez, I said, you know, I was hoping actually it was a pair of bolt cutters, because I said, just ran into that situation where we were cutting the lock on the rowboat. And I was thinking, boy, that cheap junk small pair of bolt cutters are the only ones I own. So he says, oh, he says, well, I got a nice big pair in the back. He says, I think my dad got those off the ship too. So then he goes and gets these bolt cutters. So needless to say, next time I need to cut a padlock, I think these are going to get the job done. These things are pretty massive. They're 3 feet from the tip to the edges of the handles. I'm not quite sure what's going on here with all the tape. I could feel the remnants of some handle material on there. I don't know if that just broke off over the years, so they just taped it up. I'll just leave it just like that. I'm not going to unwrap that to see what mystery's underneath there. The metal handles do come all the way to the end here, though I can see them. And these are clearly marked PCNO.0305MS. And then over here on the jaws, they're marked number 3. All right, so right here it actually says capacity 9/16 soft, half medium. So I'm assuming that means medium steel 1/2 inch thick and soft steel 9/16 thick. It says the same thing over there. There's a whole thing about warning, wear safety glasses. There are more numbers over here too. This says RCNO 0306MS, and okay, over here it says HKP in an oval with a trademark symbol, so that must be the manufacturer. Of course, I did see there's the KK1 is engraved on here, so this also must have come off that ship. I can almost make out, let me just take a second to clean this up and see what I can see. Oh, now that's cool. That cleaned up really nice. And the reason why I think it's cool is because it's H.K. Porter Incorporated, Somerville, Massachusetts. So these were actually made right here in this state. And I'd venture to guess they were probably a pretty expensive pair when they were new. So I got these and one other tool that he had back there when we went to get this thing. It was laying out in the back under his deck for 10 bucks. 20 bucks. 10 bucks for this and then 10 bucks for the other thing. Let me show you what the other thing was. Yeah, a big, I mean real big, dead blow mallet. It's not cracked. It's got some pretty nasty gouges here. If this was a Harbor Freight, it probably would have long since cracked. This is a model BC-112A, dead blow mallet, big monster. It's a Blue Point, so that's a good name. So I was like, boy, you know, there aren't too many instances where I need a dead blow mallet this darn big. Compothane, I think must be the plastic synthetic that it's made out of. But anyways, this thing, kind of like the bolt cutters here is definitely mountain man sized. It's 30 inches from the bottom to the edge of the handle. It's got this nice flat so that it'll just stand up on the floor when you're not using it. And if you've ever gone to take a wheel off and it's rusted onto the hub, you'll know that the way to pop it off is to give that thing a good whack. And you know, this is something that'll definitely be able to whack on the thing, and you don't have to worry about dinging up the rim if you miss the tire or something like that, or doing a lot of damage. So I was glad to add that. That's a keeper. And the last item that I ended up buying from him was he had this box of sockets and stuff, which at first I didn't pay much attention to, but then when I saw the quality, even though they were old, of the quality of the stuff that he had there, and surmising that this may have come from the same batch of tools off that naval ship. This actually says Thorsen, Thorsen, right on it. And what this is a mishmash of tools in here. It's not a full set by any means. What was supposed to be in here, apparently, there's a whole national stocking number. So apparently they had a national stocking number for every piece that was supposed to be in here. 23 pieces total. A bunch of sockets. You know, obviously there's quite a few things missing from here. Let's just take a quick look at what is in here. So we got some open-end wrenches. That's a Korean-made POS. Cal 3232 1-inch. Cal 3236 1 1/8. Now that's interesting. Forged alloy steel, Japan. Huh. Korea. There's the KK1 number again, engraved on this wrench. Here we go. Here's a nice one. This is a proto. 1 1/8. This is a US made wrench. Proto. So it's got some issues with the finish on it. But, you know, still a good, sturdy wrench. Hope my stomach growling isn't coming up on the video. Cal 1566 USA. All right, so I wonder if these numbers were actually stamped onto these tools as part of this set. None of these numbers jive with what's over here, though. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. There's a Thorsen. Finally found the Thorsen part in this box. And this is a Thorsen made in the good old USA. A Thorsen USA says 730. So, and it's marked with the KK1. But this is still working. And the one of these that I have right now is actually a Harbor Freight deal, so this is an improvement on that. Interestingly enough, there isn't one socket in here to fit this. And what do we got here? This is an Eastco USA extension, 13/16 Craftsman deep socket. And I bet these are all going to be the same. These sockets all look the same, and they are not marked with a maker. Just call these beater sockets, I guess. Oh, that's a different one. That's an 1 1/4 Klein socket, US made, KLEIN. That's a decent tool there. So that's mixed in with these other no-name ones. So I think I gave 10 or 15 bucks for this pile of sorted wrenches. I like that that long ratchet, that big one there. All right, so that's going to conclude this episode. Not really a flea market finds, is it? No, it's a Facebook finds. All right. Hopefully you guys can pass the word if you like these kind of videos. You know, people who like looking at videos like this. Of course, you know, got all kinds of stuff. You never know what's going to be on my channel. And if you could click the subscribe button or the like button, that'd be great. Take care.